Well, look what we have here. We have the sport version, what I call the sport version, the low wing e-QSC. That's just about finished. Why do I say just about finished? Well, the reason is because I have not put any graphics on it. This is just a bland covering scheme. I do have plans to put some graphics on it, and you'll see that probably in some later pictures. I'm not going to take the time to do it today because, well, this afternoon I'm going to go fly this airplane. And if I can find enough people there, maybe somebody that can jockey the camera for me, we'll get some video of it in flight. Nonetheless, I wanted to show you some final information on this particular airplane. It's not my intention to give you instructions on how to cover an airplane. As I'd mentioned before, when you look at I'm going to pull this down from my rack, but when you buy monocoat or any covering for that matter, they're going to give you a pretty extensive instructional sheet. This is an old one, this monocoat here. I'm using monocoat on this for just for your information. It adds a little more weight. You can use things like solar film, Solite, ultra coat. There's all kinds of different options that you can use. I used monocoat because I had it. And I don't know if you can see, there's a few little wrinkles, or well, not really wrinkles, a few little distortions in the film, mainly right over in this area, and I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up. This material I bought probably about 15 years ago. I bought 5 or 6 big rolls, not the standard 2-meter rolls, but big rolls of monocoat. And well, after sitting in the heat and in the cold, and then now my workshop is air conditioned, but after all those years I found that some of the shrinking characteristics kind of left something to be desired. But hey, I used it anyway. The stuff will work just fine. Again, though, I'm not going to go into any tutorials right now on covering. We may do that down the line because the instructions that are included with your covering of choice will lead you down the path that you need to be on to learn to cover an airplane. I'm going to include on our 76th episode of the Crashcast, I'll include some links, and these links will show you a really good tutorial that I found over on RC Groups. As well, you can just do a Google search or a YouTube search for monocoat covering videos, and you'll have a slew of those. But nonetheless, I'll include a link for the tutorial that I found by a gentleman over at RC Groups. So what I intend to do, I'm going to stop the tape, I'm going to take the wing off, and then we will talk about some of the different things that I've done on this airplane and try to get the camera in nice and close so you can see how I mounted the equipment and so forth. Landing gear, we'll talk about that, and hopefully I can answer any questions that you've got. Give me a second. When we come back, I'll have that for you. Okay, you see I got the wing off. Some points that I wanted to express to you. I did something I'd never tried before, and I may have alluded to it in another video, but I actually, after I covered the control surfaces and of course the wing and the fuselage, I actually used packing tape to tape on for hinging, just like you'd do with a foamy. For all you guys that are wanting to get into balsa building and have only built foamy type aircraft, well, you can carry over that same technique that you've learned with your foamies with a balsa plane. I wouldn't recommend this for any airplanes larger. For airplanes bigger than that, I would certainly go with other hinging techniques, CA hinges, pinned hinges, and the like. But I wanted to show you that I have actually done that. And it was a test for me, and it created a really strong surface. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Now for the control horns all throughout, probably be trying not to get the reflection. Usually I can't get the light, and now I can. What I've taken here is you'll see we've got a Dubro half A control horn, and I've just cut it down. I like lots of throw in my airplanes. Now a beginner's not going to like that, but I've just clipped off all the other holes. I've got the just 047 push rod material, and it's cut to length. I've got a Z-bend that I made. If you look through my videos, you can see how I make Z-bends. I don't use pliers. And it's just, screwed in, and it's got a little backing plate on the back, if you can see that. And I've got an easy connector. These are the small ones. They work really good with this 047 wire. It's got a set screw, and I've just got it on the horn. The servos I'm using are some that I found at a swap meet, the B8s. Dorsal actually turned us on to those on one of the previous podcasts, and I saw them at a swap meet, so I grabbed them up. They seem to be pretty good so far. But that's kind of how the wing is. Now, I used a transparent monocoat. I love transparent colors. But I use that, and the reason is because it really facilitates snaking your servo wire through the access holes that you're going to make. I've got opaque on the top, and then I've got transparent on the bottom. And kind of shows you what's going on there. So, I'll show you that. Now, on the control surfaces on the back, I have just used a drill bit. I've done several different ways. On this plane, I used some outer push rod material to strengthen this up. On another version of this airplane, I actually just used a drill bit, laid it on its side, and with my finger, did it as a finger drill, and made the hole for the push rod to go through the side of the fuselage. But this we're going to show, I've just got the 047 wire coming out. Try to catch the light. And again, to one of our little Dubro half-A control horns, and you can see on the bottom the back plate. And same thing, I have to hold it, we can see it here on the rudder. Got the same thing going on, just 047 music wire with a Z-bend to our half-A control horn. Now for the tail, I used, these are wingtip skids. These are sold by Great Plains. I think Dubro may also sell them, but my local hobby shop had them. But I just popped a couple little holes in there and just made a little plastic skid. There's all different ways of doing this. I just bought these at the hobby shop. They came in a pack of 3 for a couple dollars, so I bought them. But I popped 2 holes, pushed it in there with a little bit of glue, and voila, we've got a way to keep from messing up the tail end of our airplane. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and we'll go on to further discussion in a moment.